Here we go. Welcome to Grow Your Channel. I am Nate Drew.
Debbie Hart, and today we have our friend Jeremy Vest on.
Jeremy, I've known Jeremy for several years now. This is one
Let's
of
go.
the guys that has grown YouTube in, like, I honestly,
19 years, he said. He's been doing 19 years as a YouTube strategist professionally, right? And you said your clients have over 40
Yep.
million views. That is impressive.
Yep, they do.
honestly feel like he's part of the structure of YouTube at this
Right.
point.
He's like the OG YouTube strategist that we have on here today.
And
I'm
he's working on some
definitely
really
old for sure.
he's working on some really amazing things. But before we get into some of that stuff, let's get into actually how you started into YouTube to begin with. Like, what's the story about you actually getting into it?
So I've been in marketing, but digital marketing only my whole career. I started in 1999. So I've been in digital marketing for 24 years. I've never done traditional marketing, which is kind of funny because I was one of the first people, to start doing web design and all that stuff back 100 years ago. And in about 2005, 2006, teaching a lot of people digital marketing, graphic design, web design, Photoshop, and I wanted to teach more people. So I created a company, which was actually a lynda.com competitor or LinkedIn Learning Now competitor. And we started just creating tons and tons of courses. And we ended up creating Adobe Television for Adobe, which was getting 10 million views a month for many, many years until they canceled it about a year or two ago. And in that time of really teaching people how to learn, that's when I started getting super serious in YouTube.
Mm.
I love what you were sharing earlier about the different industries that you work with. That's how Nate and I ended up collaborating. We're both business coaches and we both have YouTube channels that have added to our revenue streams. And so we wanted to inspire the business owners that we work with, not just how to scale the business you're working on right now, whether you're in finance or plumbing or remodels, but that you can take that same information that you're already doing and add another revenue stream to your current business by just taking what you already do and putting it in inspirational or educational or fun content on YouTube, and let YouTube do the work for you to either produce lead generation or influence to where you can start to sell other products. So it's not just about being Mr. Beast or a Tony Robbins. You don't have to be a personal development guru or an entertainment king. You can make money as a plumber on YouTube, right? Didn't you have someone that you were telling us about earlier?
Before we get into that, I'm going to have people comment if they're on live right now. So comment live if you're live, or if you're watching this after the fact. I called it rerun last time. It's
Replay.
How you're watching this today, and go ahead. Let's talk about Mr. Plumber.
Yeah. So, like Debbie said, a lot of people focus on the Mr. B. It's a pretty small percentage of people on YouTube. If you do a thing and you do it well, whether you're a plumber or in landscaping or do art or skateboarding, it really doesn't matter. If you can hone that and master that, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world next to Google, and Google displays YouTube videos. So, from a search engine optimization perspective, from answering questions, from entertainment and education, if let's say you're a plumber like Roger Wakefield, one of my customers who has over 1 million followers and is the largest YouTube plumber online at this point. He just about 6 years ago, he just wanted to get more leads in his plumbing company. Fast forward 5 years, he sold his plumbing company and he's making more money as a YouTuber, way more. Um, so it can absolutely generate leads, but it can also do a lot more. So a lot more would be make you the thought leader, write books, He's launched other programs. He, helps a lot, thousands of people a year get into the trades. So he's really taken his superpower, his born gifts, which are charismatic and explaining plumbing in an easy way. His gifts are not being a master plumber. His gifts are actually doing it. If you can take what you do for a living and help others, educate them, entertain them, um, uh, there's tons and tons and tons of examples I can show you all day long of small companies when.
Yeah, absolutely. You were cutting out there for just a second, but so let's actually talk about and bring up the plumber real quick, and I'm going to bring that up on the
All
screen.
of that plumbing.
I
How
love it.
many subscribers does he have?
So he has 578,000 subscribers right now
A
on
lot of
YouTube,
people
but he
just
also
do
has,
plumbing.
yeah, he has 595,000 on TikTok, and he has 86,000 on Instagram, and way more on Facebook and other platforms. He's well over a million followers just doing plumbing.
So let's get into a little bit of what makes him successful and what makes the channel. I'm looking at these thumbnails. Can you talk about the thumbnails for a minute?
Absolutely. And this was one of the, I'm definitely a thumbnail nerd. Um,
Yep.
this was definitely a big part of what I do. I'll show you one. There's this Fabuloso one. He's now one of the biggest videos in the world, like about Fabuloso, which is a really big company in its own right. But if you look at this thumbnail, it's got lavenders. The Fabuloso is a lavender scent. He's wearing lavender. All of these things were very purposeful, and we spent a lot of time, money, and energy creating some of these thumbnails. Um, and there's three things that matter to the YouTube algorithm. Ultimately, it's all about viewer satisfaction, but it's clickability, watchability, and likability. If you have great titles and thumbnails and intros, then people are going to click on those videos. You also have to make videos good enough for people to actually want to watch. So the average view duration of a video, how long someone watches your video is probably the most important part of the YouTube algorithm. So getting people to click on great titles, thumbnails, and previews, and then getting people to actually watch your videos. And then the third part of that is likability, getting people to like, comment, and share. If you don't remember anything else today and you just remember click, watch, like, that's the whole YouTube algorithm. It's obviously a little more complicated than that, but not that much more complicated.
Right. Now, I have friends whose whole business was created around shareability, um,
Yeah.
and that's the name of the company. So how do you make
Yeah.
something shareable?
So, when it comes, I'm a big believer of having clients that are in a niche. So, for example, one of my clients are two moms out of Utah that help people learn how to clean better. And, you know, a lot of people think about shareability, they think of Mr. Beast. If he makes 1,000 people in the world see for the first time, your mom might share that with you because that's pretty heartwarming. That's pretty amazing. Never been done before. That's kind of easy. Like if you do something that complicated, it's going to be a lot easier to get shares. But what's even more important are shares within a vertical, within a niche. So one of my customers is the largest skateboard YouTube channel in the world, Braille Skateboarding. Even though I'm 47, I still skateboard every day, um, pretending to be young. And so,
Weren't you
what's
the skateboarding pastor? Is that what?
What?
Is that
Is that a thing?
I I did help run a I did help run a skate church group. Yes, I wasn't the
yeah?
pastor though.
Skateboard church group?
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That is amazing.
yeah. So it really doesn't matter what the vertical is, but let's say you're going to share a skateboarding video, you're going to share it with your fellow skateboarders. If you're an apprentice plumber, you're going to share those videos with people that you want to explain something to. So having a niche actually, even though you're not going to get as many shares, you're going to get better shares and more relevant shares. So you really, what I like to say is make content good enough that your mom wants to share it.
That your mom
I
wants to
love
share it.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
I love that.
Now, do you recommend that people say that at the end of their videos, or does that get redundant? Because I think sometimes people get, it's a little monotone on make sure you like and subscribe and share, and then are people really still engaging with that? Do you still recommend that, or do you not?
So I was not recommending that until about 2 months ago. And 2 months ago, YouTube announced when you say like or you say subscribe on screen, th- the actual buttons are going to animate now. So the
Oh,
like
really?
button's going to animate, the subscribe button's going to animate. So I definitely tell people to say like and subscribe, but after 31 seconds on a long video. The
Okay, that makes
reason
sense.
you have to have an average view duration of 70% of your audience watching after the first 30 seconds, or YouTube's not going to share that video.
Hmm.
That's a fun upgrade that they're gonna. Is that some sort of AI feature that they're integrating that they can tell when you're saying that it will make their buttons light up?
Google Brain.
I
Yep.
love that.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So let's pretend, let's just pretend we have a business that's watching, that's a new business. Well, maybe it's not a new business, but they're looking at YouTube for the first time. How would you recommend they start creating their channel?
So the first thing I would do is I would imitate. Well, before that, actually, I would understand what my niche and my superpower is. So if you don't understand what your value is to the viewer, don't make videos. You're just wasting everyone's time. But if you truly understand, hey, I'm good at this thing, I can help people, I can entertain, I can give them, knowledge, and I'm going to focus on this thing. Go find the top 100 channels that do that thing. Go find the top 100 performing videos within that niche and duplicate them.
And what would you
Now, you're not going to
recommend?
make a
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Because we kind of recommend the same thing. We say at least the top 10. But we've worked with some people who kind of have some new ideas and they don't really see people doing what they want to be doing. They have a new idea. So, what would you recommend for someone how to, test and measure the potential success for a new idea, a new channel?
So, for a new creator, it's going to take about 100 videos to get decent. If those 100 videos are focused on the best performing videos in the world, you have a higher probability of imitating and getting going. The next step in my 7 steps is actually to innovate. So I want you to take the learnings from the imitation and then go innovate as soon as you possibly can. You don't have to create those first 100 videos first, but I would focus on getting a baseline of good, solid videos under your belt before you get too crazy.
Oh, I like that. So you do encourage innovation and new ideas, but build your audience based on what works first.
Yes. And really, it's going to take you, most people, that much time to just understand how this works because it's so hard.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot to learn.
But also, you get a lot of analytics, and you can kind of tell what's working, what's not.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And, getting 1% better every week is my whole philosophy.
Yes, I love
It's all
that.
about
1% better
analytics,
every
it's
day.
all about growing. Yep.
Atomic Habits. I love that book. Speaking of books, in your upcoming book about YouTube strategies,
That was a good
we can
transition.
talk about that a little bit, but I do want to ask you first, are you going to have a chapter in there or some content in there about understanding the analytics? Because that, I think, is a hefty learning curve
Yes.
for people. I mean, they already have their industry, plumbing or whatnot, and now they're just trying to learn how to put that into content creation. Learning how to read the analytics is a whole nother cup of tea there to figure out.
Yeah, I sure do. I have a whole section, and the workbook actually comes with a video as well. And it comes with templates that actually, this is how I do analytics.
So this is where you go to log in, like from basics 101, right? This is where you go to find the analytics. These are the first things you want to be looking at, step-by-step instructions to understand. Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And my templates of how I do reporting.
Love that. And you're going to give all of that away in your book, huh?
Yep.
So this is a very all-inclusive book.
Yeah, very much so.
So it has a workbook. It has
Yeah,
videos.
it's more of a workbook. Yeah.
A workbook. Okay, so are people only going to be able to get that workbook if they hire you as a strategist? Are you going to be selling that just publicly?
Yeah, I'm really going away from being a one-on-one strategist. Just don't have time with the job I'm currently. So my goal is to help 10,000 creators get better through this book, workbook, templates, all of that.
We really love that too, because as a strategist, you only have so much time for so many clients.
Yeah.
And for business owners who are getting started on this, a lot of them can't afford a professional producer or strategist or whatever. So to give them, I mean, that was kind of our inspiration as well, is to give them whatever tools and knowledge and resources we can so that they can get started on their own.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
let's
and
talk
what's
about
crazy is literally this. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're good.
I was thinking about this the other day. I have a customer right now. I charge $10,000 to do their strategy. Believe it or not, this book that I'm creating has all of that. It just doesn't have my time that I did the strategy for them.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's an amazing gift that you're going to be sharing with the world.
Yeah, so let's talk about where people can find you, how they can hire you, how they can be a part of what you do.
Yeah. So you guys can find me at Video Creator Habits on YouTube.
Okay.
And right now, in late January is when the book comes out. So it's not really available yet. You can pre-order it on creatorunlock.com, but it's kind of a mess right now.
That's okay. We understand that.
Totally get it.
My website's a mess right now too. I'm just getting ready to launch as well. So
That's awesome. Well, Jeremy, thank you for being on with us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Are there any closing words you want to say, Debbie?
Just what is your number one piece of advice for people who are business owners specifically, because that's our audience, who are considering taking what they already do and putting it into a YouTube channel? What would be your number one takeaway for them?
My biggest thing would be ROI. So ads are expensive. Renting audiences with ads is not a sustainable business model for most small businesses. Imagine if you had 100,000 people following you and you could remarket ads to those people for 80% less cost. So I would say like the biggest takeaway is owning an audience is far less expensive to grow a business.
Absolutely.
100% agree. That was